for being here today. We're here with Bo Jones. He is with Edstruct. He is going to give us a preview on what Edstruct is and how this could potentially alleviate some digital literacy stress for you. So this is a pretty cool tool. We think it's pretty neat. And so we're just going to let Bo take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Alexandra. So Jamie, if I can, some additional questions just to get some background into what it is that you're experiencing as a CTE instructor. Do you mind me asking, what are some of the typical things that you are teaching your learners specific to career and technical education?
Well, my courses are scattered out throughout the school year. So this school year, we're having 6 courses. And the first one, we begin with basic computer literacy. So those are for the zeros. I mean, no skills whatsoever. We also, then I have an intermediate tech class for those that just need a little something more advanced. I have a Google Apps class because they can't remember their passwords on their Gmail. It's like a nonstop thing. No, I do several labs. I don't just do Gmail. And then I do using a computer to get a job. So that class deals with everything you have to do in order to apply for a job, cover letter, resume, blah, 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 all those. And then the other thing I'm going to do this year, which I've never tried before, but we'll see how it goes, is I'm going to do a driver's license workshop. I've never done that before. And then I have financial literacy, which I will also do. But I'm not sure that answers your question.
That is perfect. And I've got loads of other questions here to follow up with that. I'm curious, the courses that you're currently teaching, I'm assuming that they're in person?
Yes, they are. They're all in person.
And so like you mentioned, these Google Apps classes. So when you have students come to your in-person classes, are you providing them with any sort of homework assignments for them to complete while they're at their home?
I am not. And the reason is because I prefer them to do this work on a desktop. Some of them have laptops. Hardly any have desktops. Yeah. And things like doing a resume, it's just too difficult on a phone. And so I do not give them any homework.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that something akin to that may be where we being Edstruct could supplement the work that you're doing in class. Okay. So, and I'll try to do the best that I can to kind of explain what that looks like throughout this presentation. But let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, perfect. Do you see my web browser?
Yes,
we do.
Awesome. So we're Edstruct. Put very, very simply, we currently provide digital, financial, and career prep literacy training. And to get a little bit more specific, well, before we get to that, again, just kind of a general overview. So you may be asking yourselves, what's the value add to Edstruct? Why is Edstruct being put in front of me? Really, it's because we provide communities of clients, employees, and other stakeholders with the essential skills they need to live and work in the 21st century, right? So again, going back to this short description, digital and financial literacy is really where we found our bread and butter currently, but we are moving into the career prep space, media literacy. We've done a short foray there. In fact, let me just show these bullets. So this is kind of where we're living now. So digital literacy, financial literacy, I mentioned media literacy. Mental health is becoming a big ask for a lot of the organizations that we support, as well as health literacy. And we are considering core skills like math, reading, and writing, as well as civic literacy. So these main literacy areas, which you guys know better than most, is a huge swath of educational space, right? There's a lot that goes into each of these buckets. But we're doing the best that we can to support all the organizations that we currently support with the needs that they have within each of these buckets. And so this is kind of where we live currently. And so to get a little bit more specific, we do that by creating engaging video-based courses. And so these are, as of right now, so far, all online courses. We do have some organizational partners that have adapted our online courses to be in-person courses. For example, Women of the World here in Salt Lake City, if any of you are familiar with them, they currently use our online video-based courses to be able to teach their community of clients in person. All of our courses, of course, focused on relevant and critical topics. You mentioned career education. Jamie, obviously, we're also interested in that space, whether it's drafting your first resume, editing an existing resume, cover letter, interview prep, how to expand your network and put your best foot forward when it comes to your personal brands, things like that. And then also to top it off, we do provide certificates to prove competency to all of our learners. So should any of our learners complete a course, our system would automatically provide them with a certificate of completion. They can then add to their LinkedIn profile, or that they could submit along with a resume, something to that effect, to be able to prove that, yes, they went through this Excel course that has taught them the essential skills they need to be able to use Excel or Google Sheets or Google Docs or whatever that position is necessarily requiring. And I'll try not to spend too long here on this slide, but all this really came about a few years ago, and I'm now just realizing I got so invested in Jamie and what it is that Jamie was doing with her work that I forgot to introduce myself. So very briefly, good to meet you all. I'm Bo. I'm the founder of Edstruct, and what this idea of providing digital, financial, etc. training to primarily underserved populations, refugees, immigrants are kind of our bread and butter right now, really came about because I was serving a lot of these students in one of my previous positions at Western Governors University. So I was a senior manager at Western Governors University, helping a lot of our students to be able to just get up to speed. Interestingly enough, we admitted all these students, but we found that they didn't know how to use educational tools to be able to further their education. So our courses were asking them to use Google Docs and Google Sheets, but they had no idea what Google Docs or Google Sheets was, which is a problem, right? And so that's kind of how this idea was born. And since then, done a lot of research into the space. These are some of the main players. I'm sure you've heard of a few of these, if not all of these. But there are some problems that a lot of these experience. For example, LinkedIn Learning is extremely expensive. It's likely that most organizations like ours in the state of Utah aren't paying for LinkedIn Learning for their students. A lot of the content they provide is outdated and it's limited. Their content is attributed to poor completion rates, and the quality and accuracy issues have been noted. There's privacy concerns, little to no reporting and analytics available to administrators, and no way to prove competency. Again, going back to the previous slide, there's no way for the organizations don't provide certificates of completion or credentials to learners that they can use to be able to prove competency in any one subject. And so we set out to solve all these challenges by creating a solution that's affordable, provides updated and expanding catalog of content, that provides personalized notifications proven to increase engagement and completion among students. We provide robust reporting and analytics to our administrators that work at various institutions across the U.S. We award certificates of completion to students, and we adhere to consumer privacy best practices, including GDPR, CCPA, and UCPA. That was a mouthful. I'm going to pause right there. This seems like an appropriate place to pause. Any questions, any thoughts so far before I kind of move into a quick demo of what our site looks like? Crickets. Okay, I did a good job. Love it. Okay, so this is our site. I'm also going to put a link, this link, into the chat. Perfect. So if you want, you're all welcome to click on that link and browse yourselves. But while I have you here with me, again, this is our site. You can scroll through. We've got quite a bit of good content here on our sites. You notice our partners. Where I want to spend the majority of our time, though, is focusing in on the courses, the course content that we currently have available. So we do have 28 individualized courses. It would take students probably between 45 minutes to an hour to complete one of these courses. And as you see here, these are the categories of products that we have. We've got a pretty varied number with a heavy focus on Google products. Again, going back to my experience at WGU, we were directing students to use Google products just because it was free and it was available, as opposed to using Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word. There's quite a hefty price tag associated with those products. So we tended to focus away from those, but Microsoft products are on our roadmap, which I'll get to here in a second. Anyways, this is our current list of available courses. I'm just going to click on this one. So this Welcome to Google Workspace for Beginners is the course that we recommend most individuals start their Edstruct journey at. And so this course essentially lays the foundations for the majority of, if not all of the Google courses that comes afterwards. And within each course landing page, there's quite a bit of information that students can be able to use to better understand, is this course for me? What will this course do for me? Things of that nature. But I'm just going to pop into this course real quick and show you what it looks like.
Welcome to Google App.
Okay, so there's our video. And I'm going to reload the page real quick because our sidebar didn't load.
Step.
Okay, so as you see here, we've got our video player here in the middle. We've got the text, so I'm just going to let this play
Toward
for a few more
improving your
seconds.
tech skills. In these lessons, you will learn how to use a free set of.
So that's to show that the text underneath the videos here go right along with the video. So let's say that you've got a learner that doesn't necessarily want to watch the entire video, even if they put it on 2 times the speed.
Online tools called Google Apps, included in Google Works.
Then they can just browse down here and they can read exactly what it is that's being said. Something else to note is that we do support a number of English language learner students, and currently the only language that our platform holistically supports is English. There are a few tricks that we do have to be able to translate this into Swahili or Spanish or whatever other language your learners are most apt to using. And so if you're interested, we can kind of go through that a little bit later, but that's probably of note, is that we do support students that English is their second or third or fourth or fifth language. Okay, so I'm going to continue on.
Google Workspace.
Okay, so that probably wasn't the best. I'm going to go to a different course. So what I'm going to show you is how our courses are broken out into different sections. So like when we go to this Google Search for Beginners course, and it logs me in. Okay, here we go. So here on the left-hand side, we see our navigation tool. And so we've broken out our courses into a number of different segments. Right now, this is what we just call a video segment, another video segment, but here we finally get to an assessment. Oh, I overloaded my computer.
Browsers. Then you'll use.
Okay, here we go. So here's our assessment. So this is where, after video segments, we ask the students pointed questions about the learning content they just barely experienced. And so how successfully were you able to go to google.com based on the video segments that you just watched? And so based on this feedback, we're able to understand how impactful, how efficient our courses are in actually helping our students to be able to use the tools that it's supposed to be able to help them. And thankfully, we're able to report that actually the feedback that we've received thus far from students is very, very good. 90% of our learners, around 90% of our learners, a little bit over 90% will click completely successfully. And then the vast majority of them will, if they don't click completely successfully, they'll click mostly successful. Very seldomly do we have don't knows or not successful at all or somewhat successful. So those are our assessments. The other content type that I'll point out is a reflection. And so here at the very end of our courses, we have these reflections. And similar to the assessments, these are a little bit more general, but it asks questions like, this course taught me new digital skills. So as the learner, do I agree or strongly agree? So I'm going to click strongly agree. To give you another example, I believe my digital skills have improved because I took this course. Again, strongly agree. So again, all this to illustrate that this is, we've done what we can to make this a very data-driven approach to education. And so we're able to collect all this data and then be able to provide it back to the administrators of the organizations that we support. There's a number of reasons for this. The first is we want to be able to prove our worth and our value, right? And so by collecting this data, we're able to help showcase that our product is indeed making a difference in helping the student. And the second part of that is we're able to actually help the organization understand that their student is progressing and their student is learning, that their educational journey is being bettered by using the product. Okay, that was a very quick and dirty demo. Again, I'm going to pause and I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Questions, comments, thoughts at this point? Okay, I must be doing something right. I'm going to start sharing my screen again, and I'll just keep going on. All right, so to give you a few numbers, in the 10 months that we've been operational, we've gone from 0 learners to 328 learners that have enrolled in 1,752 classes. So we've grown quite a bit. All that, this is the 28 courses I mentioned earlier, and we do have one community that we use to be able to provide our learners with another space where they can ask questions, just connect with us if they have any issues, things like that. I mentioned focus on Google Courses, right? So you'll see that reflected here. This is our current catalog of content that we have available. You'll notice things like video conferencing basics, internet cybersecurity basics, just an platform agnostic, communicating using email, planning and budgeting, tracking your monthly expenses, etc. So just the quick and dirty of what our current catalog of courses look like. Here are some testimonials. I see our time's winding short, so I won't spend too much time here. But again, we've collected a lot of data from the students that we've been able to teach so far. The feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. The testimonials that we've received have been awesome. It was kind of difficult to choose which ones to be able to showcase here. Do also want to highlight some of the local organizations that we are supporting. So Catholic Community Services, mentioned Women of the World earlier, the Utah Refugee Education and Training Center, ESL Learning Center is the organization that actually helped jumpstart this conversation that we're having today. So kudos to them. Easter Shills Goodwill, and then Promise South Salt Lake. I believe in the meeting invite, we mentioned a free trial that's available for Edstruct, and yes, we are 100% offering a free trial, and that free trial is actually pretty lengthy. We're making it available throughout the end of 2023, and so if you're interested in utilizing Edstruct course content for anything that you're doing, we'd love to be able to provide you with that free access at least until the end of 2023, if not longer. I say at least until the end of 2023, if not longer, because we actually So far, we have been operating on a completely free model, and that we've been giving all of our course content away in an effort to be able to support as many students as we can and support as many organizations as we can. But in an effort to keep the lights on, we do expect that we are going to have to start charging a little bit, and we're thinking that that will start January 1, but that's not set in stone, and these prices currently are not set in stone. So I show them here just to kind of give you a ballpark idea of what it is that we're thinking, but it's very possible that these prices will be even lower, and it's very possible that the free trials that we're offering now may extend into 2024. Okay, and then to give you a little bit of a teaser of what's coming next. So I showed you our website, I showed you our course content platform. We are also currently developing a mobile app to be able to improve upon the accessibility of our current learners. So not only will they be able to access it on, say, like a tablet, on a browser using their mobile phone or laptop or desktop like they do now, excuse me, but we're also going to push out a mobile app for them to have easier access to the course content. I mentioned a little bit about translation services. So we do, there are a few tips and tricks that we can do to be able to translate our course content as is right now, but we're also seeking additional funding to be able to formally translate our content to be able to meet the needs of some of our larger learner populations. For example, Swahilian, Ukrainian, Spanish, Somalian, Arabic, and a few others. And then finally, new content. And so I'll highlight the new content below. I mentioned all these Microsoft courses that are currently in development. I expect that we're going to publish these within the next month. And then another big focus of ours is career and professional development. So things like, oh, where'd my screen go? Things like creating a resume, editing an existing resume, preparing for your first day of work, negotiating your salary. Some of those are more career-focused topics. Okay. As we're wrapping up here, next steps, if you are interested in taking advantage of the free trial, again, at least through the end of 2023, all you have to do is just shoot me a quick email. Let me put my email address here in the chat for ease of use. Perfect. Yep. Okay. So there's my email address. Just shoot me a quick email to indicate your interest. At that point, our marketing team will develop a landing page specific to your organization that you can use to be able to enroll your learners for free. Super easy process. I'm also going to call out that no ACH banking information or credit card information is needed in this process. This truly is a completely free trial. Don't have to send us any information other than, hey, yeah, you're interested, and then maybe just confirming the logo that you want us to put on your landing page. So really, really simple. Just shoot me a quick email and we'll get that worked out for you. Okay. This is about how much time I wanted to spend. Yeah, so we can get to some questions. Yeah, so I'll stop there. Sorry, Alexandria, I cut you off.
No, I just got excited. I really liked the list you already had, but seeing some of that new stuff you got coming, this could be a really cool opportunity.
Yeah, get ready.
Thanks. Great.
I'll turn it over to questions. Anyone have any questions about what it is that we do? Hopefully at this point not, but any questions about how it is that we can support you and your learners? And Jamie, I hope it's okay. I'm going to pick on you just because I know a little bit about you now and what it is that you see. Do you see a future in what you might be able to support the work that you're doing with your CTE students?
Okay, say that again. I'm sorry. I laughed when you were talking and it canceled you out.
Darn this technology. Yeah, no, the question being, what's the possibility of us being able to help supplement the education that you're already doing with your CTE students?
Well, I mean, there is a possibility on that pricing. Was that per person or per what is that?
Yeah, let me go back to that.
It was, I think I remember 59 and
Yeah, and
One.
so,
Okay.
and these totals are annualized totals, right? So for context, on the left is what we expect will be our annual subscription rate. So it would be $99 per user billed monthly. This middle option is our nonprofit monthly discount. So in a year, for a user, the nonprofit would pay $59 or $4.99 per user billed monthly.
Right.
There's an additional discount if the user is paid off for the year upfront. And so
Okay.
the $4.99 billed one time.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I'd need to look at it. First and foremost, I'm an ESL teacher, and so all of our classes are geared to ELLs, and quite low level ones at that. And so, I mean, I don't know that would help me any, but as far as the content goes, it probably would, because I'm not a computer genius, or I'd be working at Microsoft. So I put everything that I've got going now are things that I just put together myself.
Mhm.
And so I mean, I know what they need, but I can see you being another tool in the tool belt. I can see you being able to be supplemental to what I'm already doing.
And I like that viewpoint because I think where your focus truly is in person, on ground education, right? I don't think that we can't compete with you because you're providing a much more personalized service to your students.
Mhm.
But I do think that we truly can supplement the education that you're providing in the classroom, right? So
Yeah.
what I'm thinking of is that you teach in person, you send the students home and you provide them with a homework assignment, the homework assignment being log into Edstruct at some point, whether that's on your phone or however you're able to actually log into Edstruct, and just watch this video before next class, right? So something that will just keep them engaged with the course material. It'll provide them another viewpoint. So something like that, I think would be definitely helpful to your students.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. I have to be, we're trying something new this year that we've never done before, and that is we're condensing our classes into what you might call workshops. So we used to spread them out because we didn't want the students to be missing too much of their English classes. And so now we're doing more condensed workshops. So the classes are longer, but you'll only have one or two of them instead of being spread out over a 6-week period, because they just don't want to be out of their classes that long. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there there are ways that I could use it. Absolutely.
Well, and the last thing I'll say about this is that personally, I really do like the fact that we are offering a free trial, right? There's no obligation here. If at the end of the next few months you decide that, oh, I'm just not sure how to really fit this into what it is that I'm actually doing with my students, totally good, right? No harm, no foul. But if this is something that you want to try out, we'd love to figure it out with you. And so I would just encourage you, please go ahead, shoot me a quick email. Again, my email is here in the chat for the meeting, and we'd love to figure out how we can supplement what you're already providing to your students.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And Sherry, I'm sorry that I haven't gotten to actually address your question now, but I'm seeing it in the chat. I do know that we're a little over time, and I want to be mindful of everyone else's schedules. Are you okay, Sherry, to stay a few minutes so we can kind of talk this through a little bit? Awesome. Okay, perfect. So we've received this request a few times. We currently do not have our content on a Rachel server, but we would love to explore what this actually looks like, or additional alternatives. Some other alternatives that we've been approached with is we've been asked by some organizations to condense our online content into physical paper copies of content to be able to be provided out to inmates. we haven't done that yet, but again, I just bring it up to say that this is a really interesting idea that we haven't fully explored yet. And so we would truly love to be able to explore how we can adapt our current content for jail usage. I'm curious, and it seems like you are much more in this space than I am. What is the preference there? I guess, what's typical when providing educational content to inmates? Yeah, thank you. I see you typing.
Maybe I can help. I would say probably a lot of paper, honestly, is a lot of our jails is they don't have the access to the internet.
Yeah.
As best as possible. Computers in class, yeah.
Interesting. So by computers in class, is that like a designated space within the jail that does have a few computers with Wi-Fi connection? Is that kind of what that looks like? Rachel service for GED. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this really is interesting. And like I said, yes, but no Wi-Fi. Oh, okay. So, okay, I get what you're saying. So everything is like preloaded to, like you said, the Rachel servers or to the hard drives of the computers, things of that nature. Gotcha. I'm assuming the tablets don't have Wi-Fi. So again, okay, so preloaded. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, super interesting. We would definitely be interested in this. Based on the nature of a lot of our existing content, so with most of our content being Google specific right now, I wonder how helpful it would be. And again, this just is me not being in this space as much as you are. You tell me what would be the most helpful content for inmates? Would it be things like drafting a resume, or would it be things like I'm assuming not using Gmail, but please correct me if I'm wrong, or things like using Microsoft Excel or Microsoft Word or Google Slides? What is the greatest digital literacy need in jails, I guess is my question. Job stuff. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that all makes sense. I think probably what would be really helpful, I'd love to explore this further. I don't want to take away from other people's time, like I should, and I know that we're already 5 minutes over. Sherry, would it be possible for you and I to connect at some point, whether that's a virtual call or an in-person meeting, whatever's easiest for you? Like I said, I would love to be able to explore this further. Yeah, that would be great. Okay, if you're okay with this, can I put this on you just because I don't actually know your email address? Would you mind sending me an email? I would encourage you maybe to copy the jail coordinator on that email. And if you would just send me some available times to meet, whether that's in person, I can come to you. I'm also in Utah, by the way, so I just live in Lehigh, just south of the Adobe building. So I'm in Lehigh, super close. I'd love to meet with you in person or virtually. So whatever works best for you in the jail coordinator. Cool. Okay. Well, thank you, Sherry. I don't see you typing anymore, so I'm assuming that you're busy working on that email. So thank you all. Really appreciate it. Any call? Last call for questions before we get out of here. Okay. Okay, last thing I'll say is thank you, Alexandra, and the rest of the Utah State Board of Education. Really appreciate this opportunity and looking forward to hearing from everyone.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming here today. Great.
Okay,
Thank
y'all have a
you.
good one.
Thank you, Bill.